Talked before the break. We talked about people with visible disabilities. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about people that have non-visible disabilities. Mm-hmm. So when I say non-visible disabilities, I immediately think about somebody that might be hearing impaired or even visually impaired. Mm-hmm. I don't know that right off the bat.
Right.
But probably more important are people with mental disabilities. Mm-hmm. So before we came on air, we were talking about there's such a varying degree mm-hmm. of mental disability. How does the Act expect businesses to get prepared for this wide variety of somebody that could be severely challenged mm-hmm. and somebody that's mildly challenged? Like, how do we prepare for that?
Well, with the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, the one component of that is in effect now is the customer service standards. And one of the things that the customer service standards requires organizations to do is to provide their staff with training on how to provide accessible customer service. Now, when we provide that training to organizations, the one thing that comes up over and over again is asking the client, how can you help them? And in most cases, you really would have no idea that somebody mm-hmm. has a mental health disability.
No, sorry. So the coalition provides this training?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So that's good to know that, because that would be the question is, so I'm not equipped to train myself or train right. my staff myself. Yeah. Where do I go? So the coalition is available.
Yeah, we can certainly help with that.
And Matthew's also a facilitator of that as well, so he would be the one.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you would have no idea.
Right.
In most cases, you would have absolutely no idea that somebody had a learning disability or a mental health disability, and in that kind of situation, then you would just have to be receptive and ask someone, how can you help them, and if they require help, then they'll let you know.
And
I think just treating people how you would treat anyone else, really. I mean, as long as you ask the simple question, how can I help you? Which should be in any sort of customer service, atmosphere anyway.
But we can't treat everybody the same. I think that's what the Act is all about, isn't it? Is that we need to make accommodation.
Right.
For
asking that question provides them to tell you what that accommodation might be. So just by asking, how are you, how may I help you, that they may have a special accommodation that they might be able to, request in order for them to be able to access your service or goods.
It could just be something as simple as perhaps somebody's uncomfortable in crowds.
Right.
And so you might accommodate them by offering them the choice of mm-hmm. seating somewhere away from the crowd. So there's still a degree of being inclusive mm-hmm. because you're still providing the goods and services, but you've accommodated them by allowing them to sit apart from the rest of the group, if that is what suits them.
But somebody that knows that they have a problem in a crowd, they probably should not be going out shopping at Christmas time or in the rush hours or things like that.
And that's a choice that they would make.
Yeah, so that would be their choice, but they should have the opportunity to go and shop.
It could be for like a movie theater or something like that, right? If they're going to the movie theater and they want to watch that movie, they have just as much of a right as anyone else to watch that movie that's just come out. So, I mean, maybe by accommodating that person in this example with crowds to, maybe if it's not a packed, on opening weekend or something like that, if it's, perhaps, a few weeks after the initial release, that they could have, some seating that is available, that they could possibly have that section to themselves, that they wouldn't feel that they were being crowded, or at least supply them with times that are less busy for them to go. So, I mean, these are all things that businesses can do to accommodate someone who really wants to, access their service or their goods. That's really not that, intrusive to their business.
And I think that's probably one of the things that businesses would be most concerned about mm-hmm. is that by accommodating someone with a disability, it unaccommodates, is that a word? it avoids accommodating perhaps the masses of their customers. Do you
right.
think that's a concern that they might have?
I'm sure at somewhere down the line they probably would, but I mean it's you're not just accommodating that one person. You're accommodating that person to shop in your store or to access your services, but you're also basically accommodating that person's family or their friends, because people that will know that, well, if I go to company A and they've accommodated my friend or my brother or my sister or whoever, I will now shop at company A as opposed to company C that said, you know what, it's not worth it for that one person to come in and watch that movie and section off, you know, they'll then go to this other theater that did accommodate them, and then that just, you know, cycles down the line. So you're not affecting one person, you're actually affecting several people. So that $25 billion a year that persons with disabilities spends now multiplies into, you know, substantially more than that. So really, it behooves business to really take advantage of that. So.
We've got about a minute before we have to go to another break. Who's paying for all of this? Small businesses and businesses all around are going to ask the question, I don't have the money for this. Who's paying?
Sure you do. If you have money for advertising, well, no, seriously, if you have money to advertise, then you have money to sink into this as well. If making your business accommodating and you're putting in these accommodations, if you're making an accessible business, you are advertising to the masses, to these people that are going to be buying your product, to say, come and shop here. We want your money. Come give us your money because you can get in the building and you can access our services, and we're here to help you.
And we're going to be back January 1st, 2010. That's when the customer service portion of this act comes in, and it affects everyone that has a business where you're employing one or more persons. So it's something that you really need to get involved with. So I painted a scenario for you, and we have two co-workers, and we've got one co-worker that is blind and has a seeing eye dog, and we have another the other worker suffers from cynophobia, an irrational fear of dogs. Who do we accommodate?
It's a good question. I think that if you can accommodate both at some varying degree, then I think that would, you know, be beneficial to
Small
both.
office.
Small office?
Small office.
We have this scenario, we use this kind of scenario in our training, and we put it in the context that somebody comes to a restaurant with a seeing eye dog, and the restaurant's offering tours of their facilities. Well, you are required by law to allow somebody with a seeing eye dog to access a business, and a seeing eye dog can go in a restaurant.
Sure.
However, there are other laws that don't allow seeing eye dogs to go into areas where food is prepared. So we present this scenario in our training, and the solution that we offer is that you provide somewhere for that seeing eye dog to stay, and you offer assistance to that person who has the visual impairment to complete the rest of the tour while that seeing eye dog is accommodated safely somewhere else until that tour part is done. So in the case of a very small office, then, you know, that's going to be a tough scenario.
And I guess that's something that might, like, people are going to know that beforehand, but now I'm thinking about the customer service side of things. If I have an employee that has a condition, this irrational fear of dogs, and someone comes in with a seeing eye dog and they freak out, I mean, I'm going to have quite a scene on my hands here. My staff is running out, and so now I'm faced with two acts that I have to accommodate. I've got human rights, so I have to accommodate my employee, and I've got the Accessibility Act that I have to accommodate my customer. So, you know, we're going to have those situations, and business people are sitting there, I can't win on this one. Like, what do I do? Who do they go to? If they have that problem, is there somebody they can go to? Do they call you for help? Who do they call?
Yeah, they can call us. We'll try to come up with a solution that works for everyone. It's also about compromise too. So you may not get, you know, 100% accommodation for one person or 100% accommodation for the other person, but perhaps, you know, somewhere in the middle that both parties are okay with, maybe not completely, thrilled about, but at least okay with, that they can continue to do their work. So, I mean, it also touches on managerial skills of those managers in those businesses. How well are they able to manage their staff? How well are they, how well are they able to manage their business? If they're strong managers, if they have strong business sense, then making these accommodations and making these compromises, or helping people see the compromises, shouldn't be too difficult. But we're also here as a resource for them as well, to try to help them.
So, would we be able to say that you're the go-to people for, at least maybe if you don't have the answers, you can either go get the answers or you can direct people?
Absolutely, and Matthew works very closely with a lot of community partners, and is kind of our resource within the resource that we go to. So we definitely take advantage of him.
So you're the go-to person.
He's the go-to person.
People.
Yeah, he's kind of If no one knows, we just say go talk to Matthew, and then we just bother him.
And similarly, if an employment issue came up, I'd go to Ryan, who's our job developers.
I'll get back to you.
Okay, get your pencils ready and your pens ready, because we're going to give you the phone number to call the coalition. So let's give it the first time. We'll give it one more time before the end of the show.
Sure.
Either one of you can jump in.
It's
and
905-755-9734. And Matthew's extension is
I'm 251.
251, and I'm 228.
228.
So, and that's our Mississauga office. We also have a Brampton office, which is 905-459-7890. And any of the staff there as well would be more than happy to help anyone. So, and the Brampton office also services Halton and Dufferin. So,
I'll ask you the question. What's the biggest pushback you're getting from this customer service part of the Act?
I haven't seen any at all myself yet, because you remember there are 5 standards that are coming out, and the customer service is the first one. And one of the requirements of the customer service aren't a lot. It's developing policies and procedures that, to accommodate somebody who comes in with a support person, or to accommodate somebody with a service animal. Our recommendation is getting on top of that right away, because it does put you ahead of the curve. And we look at an aging population, that percentage of persons with disabilities is just going to grow and grow and grow. So if you start implementing the accessibility now, then you're going to be on the leading edge of that, and people are going to be coming to you as opposed to other organizations.
And that's going to be the good thing for business.
Absolutely.
So we're getting close to the end of this of the show here. So one more time, in Mississauga, the number to call is
905-755-9734.
And in Brampton?
And in Brampton, 905-459-7890.
That's great. Thanks for joining us on In Business. Thanks to our sponsors for their support. And a special thanks to my panel guests, Matthew Fleet and Ryan Machette. If you have a question for us at In Business, or have an idea for the show, give us a call, go to our website, www.rogerstv.com/inbusiness. We'll be back after a few words from our sponsors to tell you about next week's show.